そうです。ちょっとだけ見せて、ちょっとだけあとライン当てる。起立起立着席起立着席起立着席着席着席着席起立起立手を合わせてください。みんな元気にいただきます。さようなら。また来て先生皆さん아침부터 이 밑에 서부 낯설어도 똑같은 하루 선물볼까 달아나볼까 고민 고민해. 까만 모자 속 뒤척여도 잡히는 건 오늘 같은 날 하얀 토끼 나비둘기 That's the same. 매일 내 맘속 flash 빛나던 rainbow 아무 색 없는 세계 지루해. 네 손끝으로 바꿔줄래. 발전 너처 떴지 날개 be okay. Oh my god yes. Say oh my god yes. 지려져 가득 날 많은 색깔로. Oh my god yes. Say oh my goodness. 하루 종일 나 웃음이 나 가슴이 두근대던 너. 많은 색깔로 채워줘 발전 너처 something I like. Surprise changes. 하루 종일 나 웃음이 나 가슴이 두근대던 너. Happy ending 똑같은 결말 너 없는 나 so what I can do. 별거 없는 레퍼토리는 그만해. 난 걷고 싶어 like long way. 더더해도 좀 달라 보일게. 너에게 날 보여줄게. That's my heart. 매일 내 맘속 flash 빛나던 rainbow 늘 같은 흑백 영화 지루해. 네 손끝으로 바꿔줄래. 발전 너처 떴지 날개 be okay. Oh my god yes. Say oh my god yes.
Alrighty, hello everybody, and welcome back to the Osmania Long No Tournament 4th edition. We're rolling right along this round of 64 weekend with another very exciting matchup here for you guys today. It is going to be JayLye taking on Ogata Kanna to see who will be continuing on their winner's bracket run and who will be dropped down very early on into that loser's bracket. My name is Sparky, and I am joined in commentary booth this time around by none other than Epic Man 2. How's it going, man?
Hello. Yeah, doing really well. This is gonna be my last match of today. Originally, I did mention on another stream that we were originally gonna be commentating for Nod's match earlier, but it ended in a forfeit. So therefore, we swapped it out for this match in exchange. So at least we still got competition to go through in this hour, and honestly, it's looking really cool from what we can see. Seed 12 up against Seed 53, as I can see on the screen here, and both these players have very solid performances riding off of the qualifiers results as well. So now, gonna be seeing both these players gonna be trying to see who is gonna be able to at least make it out of this bracket and to advance further into the winners round, because, well, honestly, a lot of these matches just look crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. I think even right from the offset, the first match we had of this tournament was, what, 3 versus 59? And that felt like it was just an accuracy battle the entire time, this being that little bit shorter of a seed difference. You never know. I mean, you can't really underestimate any of these lower seeded players because, I mean, overall, the margin to get into this tournament overall was, what, like 10,000 points, 20,000 points between making it and not making it? Like, anybody could take out anybody at this stage.
Yeah, indeed. It literally just feels as if, like, you're watching someone trying to at least beat a maths exam, for example, and like just trying to get out GCSEs, and like that stuff is like difficult. I know because I've been there, and probably everyone else has. So the fact that the entry level point for this tournament is like that hard in general is really just spells how interesting this tournament is, honestly, I'd say.
Yeah, absolutely. And as the players are getting through the protect ban procedures, looks like Ogata is going to be protecting Tech 1, JayLye is going to be protecting Coordination 1, and banning out Tech 2. So maybe just trying to pinch some of the options on that Tech side of the pool here.
Yeah, and especially the fact that I am very well familiar with JayLye. I haven't faced him in tournaments about 2 times in the past few years, as my memory recalls. I know that they are an LN player that is very, very capable when it comes to some of the more technical maps, so it definitely makes sense that they would protect something like Coordination 1. That is probably one of the closest in the Coordination map category that would feature something that is at least a little technical, but mainly on the release factor. Because, I mean, to be fair, Painted Dreams is a relatively old map. There's a lot of people that are definitely familiar with it, and this map, and this whole map pool in general just has like a big slew of like a lot of these very familiar maps that I'm sure a lot of people would be very well acquainted with, I'd say.
Yeah, absolutely. And true to form, I think Reimei being one of those picks that I think has a bit of notoriety for being very easy to choke on. So not surprising to see it removed from this pool very early on. I mean, it was a mid-game level map like 3 to 4 years ago, and now it's round of 64 with a tiny bit of an OD increase, but still something that players just gonna want to avoid at all costs. So looks like everything's out of the way. The first pick is going to be Coordination 3.
Yeah, definitely a very safe pick from Ogata Kanna to be able to try and look for some of the initial picks to at least test the waters of what can be done within this match. And so far, so good. Seems like both these players are full steam ahead with at least trying to start the match off, going to be sending out their good luck, have funs. And now it is time to bring out Phony, the more modernized coordination pick out of the few that we have.
Yeah, just going straight into that side of the pool. immediately, and through this opening salvo, waiting for the players to get up over that 400 combo cap, relatively the same. Gonna take some time to kind of get settled into the overall accuracy ranges that I feel is gonna be the margin that these players are going to be shooting for. I think we've seen some pretty incredible scores already this weekend, but the fact that, again, alluding back to the fact that literally everybody in this tournament is really good at long notes, only, what, a couple 100 points separating the two players going through this first quarter of the map?
Yeah, it definitely opens for the literal bloodshed territory that this tournament is going to really open up to, and we can already kind of see it going into this map. We did see a bit of a great thrown out by JayLye intrusively earlier on, but still recovering, just going off some misjudgments from Ogata Kanna. This is going to basically bring the lead over to the side of JayLye, being able to at least capitalize it and at least sustain it for just a bit, going over just under the 2,000 point mark. There's still a fair portion of the map left before going into the back of the chart, but even then, it seems like neither of these players are at least immune to some of these more minuscule misjudges, especially these yellow 300s, which just kind of decrease the accuracy alone, but still very good job from JayLye so far, being able to at least maintain consistency going all throughout them.
Yeah, approaching the midway point of the map, still things relatively staying the same. FCs on both sides of the playfield, just a couple of 200s really separating the two players as JayLye continues to increase back up to that 99.8 mark. Ogata kind of falling behind a little bit, just a 1/10%, still within catching range, but still in enough of a gap to offer JayLye about a 2,000 point buffer as we continue on into this last third of the map. Anything's still possible. JayLye can't rest on their laurels here because, I mean, Ogata's right there in position to capitalize on any potential mistakes through this last quarter.
Yeah, exactly. And that alone is definitely the one thing that I feel is going to be one of the most dangerous things about this match alone, because the fact that neither of these players have even found a miss going into the final core of this map. This is basically the final pre-course until we go into the final stretch of the map where we will have a lot of these more dense release patterns that really tank, that I feel is going to cause one of these players to at least tank it in the accuracy department. And that especially is something very, very major that I feel is something that's like very important when it comes to a map like this, where it is basically more modernized coordination or so, with some stream bursts here and there. And so far, so good. It seems like it's only really Ogata getting the short end of the stick, while JayLye still allows himself to thrive off of a lot of these releases so far, getting pretty much a clean score to start off with, really.
Yeah, I couldn't have asked for anything better to start things off here. A breakpoint to start things off for JayLye, 992 to 988. I mean, Ogata didn't really put that much of a foot wrong there. It really was just boiling down to overall accuracy difference. And I mean, if they can continue that, just get these clean runs in, they can put themselves in these positions to capitalize should JayLye find themselves messing up later on in this match. But for right now, JayLye going to be up to pick their first map of this match. Going to be interesting to see what they decide to go for here.
Yeah, and I feel like right here, if I was JayLye, it basically was solidified that some of the more that stuff like Phony, which is basically one of the more simple maps in the pool, are definitely very safe. And it seems like they're going to be picking into their Protect very, very early, going to be Painted Dreams. So I don't know how to feel about this pick personally. I mean, especially the fact that this is one of the arguably easiest maps, dare I say, which is honestly kind of crazy to think about, especially like having to see all the other maps thus far. Like, it just feels crazy just like saying that this is like the easiest when it's the only one that's like, I don't know, it's literally a qualifier map from another tournament 5 years ago or something, and I never played in it. Like, yeah,
definitely a true testament to how far the bar has been raised in terms of overall LN proficiency, that this can be painted as one of the easiest maps in this pool. That being said, I mean, going straight into Protect, understandable. After getting a break point, you want to go into something that you feel like you can essentially just like knock a score out on demand. And if they can maintain that 1/10 gap that they had over Ogata Coordination 3, then this should be more of the same. But that being said, I mean, when you play these easier maps, you do bring your opponent back into the fold if they can match you in terms of that level of comfort. But for right now, Ogata actually lagging a little bit behind in terms of overall opening accuracy, crossing that 400 combo cap, about 0.2% the difference between the two players. Still about 1,300 points, but definitely not a deficit you want to be finding yourself in early on.
Yeah, especially with the fact that you got to take into consideration that these easier maps overall kind of ramp up in difficulty when not only are these using the OD factor a lot more, raising them up to OD8 of all things, but also the ideology that when there's like less notes in a map, then any misjudgment overall just means a lot more, even regardless of length. And we can definitely see that with that one grade from Ogata going to increase the scoreline on the side of JayLye, pushing it more into their favor, pushing the envelope that really consistency is the game when it comes to this map. And going into the back half the chart, it's going to be really hard to try and recover from the shoes of Ogata, at least, to be able to try and sew the gap together in terms of bringing the scoreline closer to their favor, in all honesty.
Yeah, they're doing a good job avoiding the misses, but I feel like they have some trouble with some of these transitional moments. There was just a rush of 200s and a 100 also, keeping their combo intact, but taking quite a bit of damage to their overall accuracy and giving JayLye about a 4,000 point cushion now to work with, similar to what we saw in Coordination 3. So, I mean, maybe not something they would have willingly gone into, but it kind of begs the question now why they went for Coordination 3 to start things off here. If they were going to be having these little bits of issues, maybe a little bit of exploration to start things off, but now JayLye fully taking advantage of this, being able to consolidate that breakpoint and make it 2-0 to start this match off.
Yeah, once again, JayLye in with a 2-point lead very early on, and even if it wasn't for winning the ratio battle, it all came down to the misjudgments that really spelt the game here. And honestly, that alone is just scary to think about. Just the fact that you can win in ratio, or at least losing it, but it's just the misjudgments that change everything.
Yeah, I mean, we say misjudgments, it's literally just 200s. Like, that is the margin. And the gap between these two players, it's 12 versus 53. I mean, you don't see these things all that often where there's this much of a fight being put up that we're literally grasping at straws, nitpicking on the tiny little details that are separating the scorelines right now. It's crazy. And Ogata gonna change things up by virtue of not having any more coordination picks to go for. Gonna try some density now. Density 1 coming through for their next pick.
Yeah, honestly, fair pick, knowing how the coordination maps went. It definitely makes all the more sense to at least go for an upper category now that you've basically forced all of the remaining coordination maps going off of that ban on Coordination 2. And honestly, Sparky, you touched on it earlier when it came to at least trying to be as perfect as humanly possible. I mean, honestly, the one thing I can compare a lot of these matches to when it comes to performances is literally like, how do you think Leonardo da Vinci felt when he was trying to make art, like back in the day?
I don't know. I'm gonna be real with you, man. That's a bridge I'm not gonna cross.
This is literally what I feel is identical to the type of matches that we have in this tournament alone, and you can kind of see the vision, especially going into maps like this where both of key players are just that good at easy maps. Like, it's just insane.
Yeah, now you start to wonder if it's really just these introductory portions of these maps that are being the undoing for Ogata Kanna here, where they're just finding themselves in a hole that they need to dig themselves out of very early on. And I mean, to their credit, they're doing their best, getting themselves back up into that 99.7 range to swing out 990k scores. But you've had JayLye just resting on this 99.8 mark for a majority of this match so far. And they have that cushion to kind of fall back down into that 99.7 range and still be comfortably ahead by the looks of it. And we're already a third of the way done with this map, and it's still about 2,000 points, that 1/10 that Ogata needs to overcome here.
Indeed, and the fact that it's not even helping that a lot of the time, both these players are still doing very well being able to maintain the FC. It's only really just the accuracy that matters a lot here, and especially for here, JayLye, I mean, obviously reputable enough to at least be able to maintain a lot of these really good scores on Ellen to begin with. Especially, you know, having played in so many tournaments in the past few years. So, like, it's basically like, if someone's been, like, playing for that long, there's, like, honestly no telling that, like, oh my goodness, I lost track of what I was saying, but... Okay, final four of the map is left, and so far, both players still not choking either way. It's only really just the misjudgments that is holding Ogata back by quite the thread here.
Yeah, I mean, this is still catchable, but when you have somebody on the other side that is just refusing to miss, refusing to find those 1 or 2 extra 200s. I mean, we've seen some Black Flag performances already out of JayLye, very close to V1SSing the first couple of maps in this match, and another really good performance from them, gonna get a second breakpoint already to make it 3-0, and finally getting that V1SS, 994k. I mean, Ogata not that far behind still, 990, but just not able to match the level that JayLye is performing at right now. I mean, there's really not much more you can do on their side.
Exactly, and now that's gonna put Ogata Kanna into a pretty bad situation. JayLye is now about halfway through at being able to close the match off, and now opting in for Density 2, that's basically going to be, well, the more regular density pick, it's like it's like slower, like kind of the type of density map you'd see in MWC and various other tournaments, but with full LN basically, so going to be, I'd say, a fair alternative, I'd say, when it comes to, I don't know, if you were to put this into perspective, like, comparing it to Density 1, although, I don't know, that one doesn't count. It's like, it's like, kind of just modernized Raymay, to be honest.
Yeah. And we'll just have to see how they perform. I mean, like I said, they've hardly put a foot wrong in this match. It's just JayLye performing at that half step, just that tiny little portion, a bit better. And, I mean... maybe just hoping for the shoe to drop, and JayLye catches like a stray 100 here, maybe even a miss in a perfect world in their eyes to be able to take that lead back, because they've been in the position to do so. They haven't missed yet either, but if it's just a straight accuracy battle, we've seen what JayLye can do, and they haven't blinked so far in this match. And with their pick, being able to make it a potential match point situation, at the very least, Ogata has one more pick to try and continue this match onward. We'll just have to wait and see how they do here.
Yeah, and which is gonna have to be relatively soon, because options are kind of running out for Ogata Kanna either way, and even then, once we do have a lot of these more straightforward maps thrown out, it's gonna have to be forced into some of the more riskier maps, especially from the wildcard category, because I know stuff like Wildcard 2 maybe would be very, very risky to throw out into this match, even if it would kind of be a bit of a fresher breath of air for Ogata, just because of the fact that I don't think either of these players have played, because neither of these players have played a tech map going into this round so far. It's only really just the more straightforward map, but even then, this could open up for some interesting opportunities. It's just, can you use the opportunities to the full extent? That's the next question, really.
Absolutely. And right now, I mean, this is the cleanest start Ogata has had to a map. I haven't seen any major hiccups from them like we have seen on earlier maps, where you see like a couple of 200s here and there. Still that margin of 0.1%, but they're not having to climb as high up now. They just fell back onto their, basically their plateau here, which has been the 7-3 mark, and just hoping for an opportunity with half the map still left to go here. Not out of the woods by any stretch of the imagination is JayLye. They've just been chilling on this mark that they've planted this entire match, and waiting to see if Ogata can actually rise up to challenge them. And so far, I mean, 0 for 3, but this is maybe their best opportunity to try and eke something out with a third of the map left to go here.
Yeah, and especially going through a lot of the sections in this song already, going through that whole guitar solo relatively unscathed. JayLye literally treats this as like child's play. Literally, he rests all he literally leans on this like it's some sort of like platform on the screen, then literally looks up at Ogata and goes like, "Hey kid, do you want to see a magic trick?" Like, it's just insane. Like, how does this guy pull it off? Like,
I mean, they have the experience at this point. Like, they have been putting in the work year after year to reach this point, and I mean, playing to their seeding level. I mean, being the 12th seed, there's a lot of expectation from this top 16 this year around, and really just showing off what they're made of as they do successfully make it a match point situation. Second breakpoint consolidated 4-0 to start this match off. Another black flag performance, and actually winning the ratio battle this time around by a pretty comfortable margin, putting Ogata in a bit of a tight situation here to start this match off.
yeah, and now, all things said and done, we are going into what is probably going to be the potential final map. Ogata has been doing their best to at least try and prove fighting worth when it came to a lot of these maps, but time appears to be running out. There's not much options left for Ogata here besides to either lose and just take the loss into the loser's bracket, or to force the tiebreaker, in which we've not even seen it at all going into the whole round of 64 bracket so far, and which there has been a few matches based off what I've seen that were relatively close, just scratching the surface just about to be able to reach that point, but not making it at the end. And it's going to be wildcard 2 that gets the pick. Oh no!
I love this chart so much. It's so good. It's literally, outside of Reimei, literally one of my personal favorites in this pool, and it's gonna be interesting. I mean, if this is Ogata's consideration for an off-the-wall 180 style of pick, I mean, there's potential for misses on this, but with the way these two have been playing, I mean, we're perfect. We're 4 for 4 on FCs. Neither of these players have put a foot wrong this entire match. Is this the opportunity where one of these two finds a miss?
Hopefully it is. I mean, I'm not praying it for Ogata because I still want them to at least win 1 point. I mean, honestly, at this point, Ogata needs to get at least 1 point. That should be the margin of, like, I don't know, some sort of goal to achieve within this match alone. Even if it's like not solely to get a victory, this song is nothing short of like complicated, and this one being a map from 2019, gosh darn it, this tournament is already spoiling us with such banger picks, bro. Like, what do you mean? This is the map pool, bro.
Yeah, there's quite a bit to pick from nowadays, and as we continue this one on, again, it's been the tale of this match. This 1/10 separating these two that, I mean, kudos to both of them. They're nothing if not consistent in regards to the level of output. It's just the fact that JayLye just has that half step more so far, and as we continue on, we find these tricky sections where this guitar is just going off the wall, some wild flams and just odd snaps here and there that could potentially be a tripping point, but both these players just near automatic going through half of this map already.
Yeah, and even then, with JayLye having just a bit of a slight bias, this is actually the closest lead that we've seen so far. Ogata being able to at least fight for that lead going into the back half. This chart only introduces a lot more of these really clunky patterns that are bound to throw just about anyone off, and this is where we're going to be having a bit of a tempo change going into some of the more math rock, Midwest emo oriented patterning that we have over here. And I feel like at this point, some misjudges have to be thrown out by someone, either by JayLye or Ogata, because I know some of these sections, and Ogata is going to be taking a bit of a break there that's going to increase and push the envelope for JayLye to be able to capitalize off of this final point going into the final quarter.
So we continue on. Perfection. I mean, Ogata at this point, I mean, you're just hoping. It's like, is this enough? And you're looking at the percentage, and it's like, you've seen what the margins have been between yourself and your opponent, and it's just like, all right, there has to be a miss somewhere. These patterns are so tricky to play through. They're pushing as hard as they can. They're going through this outro, and neither are giving an inch on these sections. And as things come to an end, there's still some awkward grace note patternings, but outside of that, it's gonna be over. JayLye going to take the match 5-0, push Ogata down into that losers bracket, and continue on into winners round of 32 here.
Another thing I'd like to mention, both these players almost have very close accuracy. It's only just a differential of 14 perfects alone. It's only just the 8 additional grades on the side of Ogata Kanna that spelt it. Had it not been for any of those grades, this one could have been insanely close, but unfortunately the map is just that insanely technical, and unfortunately that is going to be the spelling. This is going to be the binding of this match as we all know it. Ogata Kanna going to be thrown down into the losers bracket. But as for JayLye getting the benefit of the doubt so far, going to be going into the round of 32 winners bracket against the likes of Snow. Okay.
Yeah, so plenty more to look forward to here for both these players. Wish them the best of luck as they continue on through the bracket. But that'll do it for this one match for this block. We'll be back in a couple of hours. 21 UTC will be Nebojin versus Iran to see who will be continuing on. I think this is the whitest one. This is what, 1 versus 64 here. See if Iran can put up a bit of a fight against what I think many are seeing as a potential tournament favorite.
I mean, at this point, Nebojin literally just needs no introduction. Everyone knows how he works. He knows his stuff. So if you want to support either of these players, may as well turn up to the match. But that said, we can take a little bit of a breather for the time being. So anyways, so do you have anything left to say? Oh, sorry.
Nah, I think we covered everything we need to, so go ahead and take y'all's break. We'll be back in a couple of hours, but until then, we'll catch y'all later.
So long! Hey. What's going on? I'm so confused.
All right, I guess we're showcasing the tiebreaker here.
Last minute decision. Hello,
Yeah.
everyone.
All right, we're back. Who'd have thunk?
Hey, guys.
Surprise. You thought it was over. No. I mean, let's be real. What are the odds that we actually do get a tiebreaker around a 64? I say that now. Next thing you know, we're gonna see like 4 or 5. But hey, we get to at least see it at least once.
Yeah, that's fair. Damn, this map's cool. I wonder if that's actually part of the map poll.
Yeah. Let's see.
Yeah, I guess. I guess some people over an internal wanted to see a match, so we decide, what if we have a little bit of a little tit for tat for a change?
Something like that.
Yeah.
The client said no. We're being trolled. We're being played. So
Yeah, literally.
we'll see if we'll see if we can get it, but if not, then it was. Listen,
Yeah.
these things happen. We love the client. We love Bancho, held together by the silly string and unbreak noodles that break so easily. It wasn't meant to be this time around. So I don't think I don't think by the time we get everything figured out, it'll probably already be over. So we'll go
I
ahead
mean,
and we'll go
yeah.
ahead for the second time. Say our goodbyes. We'll catch you guys at 21 UTC, and
All right.
we'll catch you guys for that 1 versus 64 match. Take care,
All
y'all.
right. Thank you, everyone. See you later.